This video will show you how to locate articles in the library database for research assignments. You're going to log into Atlas and look for the Libraries box on the left side of the My Atlas tab and click the link that says Search the Library in order to open the library catalog. This time, since we're looking for articles, we're going to go right into the databases. So you can pick databases by subject in the red tabs. That breaks down the different database categories. And depending on the topic that you're researching, you may want to choose a category like health and medicine or news and current events. And you can see it just breaks down the databases by those topics. For now, I'm going to click Databases A to Z because I'm going to go to a few specific databases. Now, the databases you can use for this assignment are unlimited, and I would suggest that you search a few, but I'm going to highlight two different kinds of databases that you can use in an informative essay. The first is what we call a subject-specific database. That means that it's a database that has a specific focus. So usually it's for a specific topic, or maybe a specific kind of source, or a specific kind of assignment. So the database we're going to go into is under the letter O, and it's called Opposing Viewpoints. So find Opposing Viewpoints in the alphabetical list and click on the title of the database, and it will take you there. So Opposing Viewpoints is subject-specific because it is specifically made to research controversial issues, which you are researching. Now, remember that this is an informative essay, not a persuasive essay. So you want to try to find the unbiased information. It's very simple to use. If you don't have a topic, you can browse through the page. It shows you what's being updated. That's helpful to know that the information's current. But there's also an icon here that says Browse Issues. And this is a great way to find a topic. So it lists all the major issues that the database covers in alphabetical. Or you can pick a general category. So perhaps you don't know your topic, but you know that you're interested in environment issues. You can go to that category and then pick a topic from there. But sometimes you may be assigned a topic or have a selection from a short list. So I am going to pretend that I am doing an informative essay on medical marijuana. Kind of like the library catalog, you're just going to do a general search here. You're not going to get into keywords too heavy. So I'm just going to type in medical marijuana and click enter. And since this is a main topic covered by this database, it takes me, instead of to kind of random search result page, it takes me right to the topic page for medical marijuana. Topic pages are helpful because the way that Opposing Viewpoints organizes information is that it brings you to a general topic page and then shows you all the different types of sources that they have available. A topic page will always start off with a general overview at the top. You can click Read More to actually read the rest of the essay. This is very helpful for an informative essay because it gives you a brief overview of the topic and what some of the issues are related to it. You can see this one talks about legislation as well. This would be considered a tertiary source. If you don't know what that is, check out the Research Basics tab. But it gives you more of a general overview. There's no original research here or anything like that. But as you scroll down, you'll see here this gray box is kind of like your table of contents, so to speak. So there are all different kinds of articles in this database. We have academic journal articles. Of course, those are your scholarly sources. So if you look there, you'll find possibly original research studies that people have done on on medical marijuana. You can see that here's a study about potency. This talks about its use in chronic pain, substituting it for opioids. There's some information about CBD or contaminants. So there's quite a lot of articles that you can find. Then kind of on the next level, we have magazine articles. So again, these are not quite scholarly, but may still have merit based on your topic. We also have newspaper articles. These are considered primary sources, again, because they're written in the moment. They don't quite have the ability to kind of look back with all the knowledge that we have. It's kind of just captures a moment in time, but again, still helpful. You'll also see there are images, videos, audio. These are usually news broadcasts. And then we have a reference selection. So again, more tertiary sources. These are usually taken from encyclopedias. So they will give you a general overview and some background information. This may also be helpful in order to narrow down your topic and figure out exactly what you want to research. One of the cool features about this database is pretty unique in that it actually separates out statistics or infographics. And these are quick and easy ways to get statistics without actually having to read a giant article. So for example, if I click on the statistics tab, you can see they're a little outdated, but maybe the perceived benefits might be helpful. And you can see it just shows the graphic, so you don't have to go through the article. You can just find the information. So, for example, here was a study with patients, and they've categorized them by the illness they have. And it shows what percentage of both patients and doctors reported some benefit from using medical marijuana. One of the great things about these infographics and statistics are that it actually shows you where the information came from. So you could evaluate this source to see if it's credible. If the information's outdated, you can try to go to their website and see if there's a follow-up study or maybe a different study that's a little more current. And then you can see that this database also gives you an MLA citation. Most databases will, but keep in mind that they're computer generated, so you don't just want to blindly copy and paste it and go. You want to make sure that you're checking it with MLA standards. The other category I mentioned was the infographics. So if we go to that, you can see we have some statistics. For this one, it has programs and patients from 2018. It's a little bit old, but not too bad. And so you can see it shows the states who have a program or don't, and you can actually interact with it. So we can say click Florida, and it shows us that they do have a comprehensive program. You can see this shows how many patients there are in each state. Again, it gives us the citations that they've used, that they've gotten this information from in order to make the map, and then it also gives us the citation to include in our essay. Now, depending on your topic, you may have a lot of results or you may have a few. If you end up with a lot, you can click on the category. Let's go to magazines. There's a good number there. And you'll notice you have some topic limiters here on the right. So you can change the publication date. Pretty simple. So we can say the past year and click apply. and there are only 8 articles, much easier to look through. You can also look at some of the subjects that they mention, the different kinds of documents. An article will usually be a full article, but a brief article will be kind of a shorter snippet. You can look at the publication title to see what publications the articles are coming from. You can even narrow it down by the reading level. So perhaps if it's a topic that's medical or very technical, you can pick something on the lower end and it might be easier to read. And then you can also click Search Within to search within your search results. So instead of searching the entire database, if we enter something here, we're just searching the 8 magazine articles here on the left. I'm going to click on an article just to show you some of the features in the database. So I've already showed you that there are citations at the very bottom, but you have options to translate or increase or decrease the font size, even to listen to the article. You can download it to Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, which we all have access to through Atlas. You can email the article to yourself, download a PDF of it, or print it out. So you have quite a few options here. And then on the right column, you'll see that it'll show you some related articles and also related topics from this specific article. The last category I want to show you in the search results, but kind of want to caution you about, is the Viewpoints category. This is really what makes the database for controversial issues. The Viewpoints, as you can imagine by the name, are biased essays that are for or against a specific topic. Since you're writing an informative essay, you're not going to want to find the perspective of someone. However, think about how you would try to prove your point to someone. You would use statistics or some kind of data or information. So a lot of times the articles that you find here, if they're credible, will include citations and information. So for example, I'll just click on a random article. The great part is that it shows who the author is, so you can determine the authority. Is this someone who has expertise? Is this someone who I should trust? And then you can go through the article and look for cited information. I don't see any cited information in this specific article, so I would probably skip it. But as you go through, you may find others that are helpful. So for example, this one cites some experts, so they likely have quotes or information from that expert. So again, we can see who this person is, just a journalist, probably not the most trustworthy. But we can see that he's citing information from a specific, in this case, psychiatrist. So while it doesn't give us the citation necessarily, we can go and Google that person and maybe find information on them. Some of the viewpoints will also include not necessarily citations, but kind of like recommended reading on their viewpoint. So in all, opposing viewpoints is a great place to start, especially because you can find all different kinds of sources. You can find scholarly sources, you can find popular sources, you can find statistics, you can find encyclopedia articles. It's really a one-stop shop. So that's what makes it a good starting point. However, it is pretty light on the academic journal article end of things. So if you're looking for original research studies by experts, you're probably going to want to go back out to a different database. Our most common database for kind of general research is going to be under the letter A, and it's called Academic Search Complete. So we looked at opposing viewpoints, which was a subject-specific database, meaning it kind of catered to a specific kind of topic or subset of information. Academic Search Complete is an example of a multidisciplinary database. So it's a database that has a little bit on almost any topic you can think of. So that's what makes it a little bit more helpful to find scholarly information. Now, if you went to the Research Basics tab in your guide and watched the video on keywords, the search boxes here on Academic Search Complete should look a little bit familiar to you. So you can see where you can separate out your search terms. So I can start with my general term. So I'll put in medical marijuana. But again, as I've mentioned in some of the videos, that's going to give us a ton of results. That's probably not specific enough. So let's do a search and see. Sure enough, we end up with almost 5,000 articles. Nobody wants to look through all those, including me. So usually you're going to add some kind of secondary keyword to narrow it down a little bit. So what about medical marijuana do you want to know? Do you want to know the history? Do you want to know about the regulations? Do you want to know about the benefits or the dangers or how effective it is? Those are secondary keywords that you can add here. So for example, if I search medical marijuana and, dangers, and click search, I went from nearly 5,000 articles to 30. So that's a pretty good number to look through. That's not too complicated. But I still have these limiters here on the left, just like in the library catalog. I can change my publication date, so I at least want to go up to 2015. That brought me from 30 to 13. Again, probably enough that I can look through, but there are further limiters, so you can look at the actual kind of source. So of course we have academic journal articles. That's going to be the expert information. But there are also magazines and newspapers. But then you'll see another category listed called trade publications. This is kind of a middle ground between academic journals and scholarly sources and popular sources. Trade publications are written more like magazine articles. They're not original research. They're kind of summaries of research. They're usually shorter articles, but they are usually by experts for people in the field. So that's kind of a happy medium, and that may be a better place to go for you, again, if your topic is more technical. Another piece that's helpful is here where it says subject thesaurus term. If you click show more, it's going to look at our 13 search results, and it's telling us these are the main subjects in this many of the articles. So you can see that 10 of the 13 articles, their main subject is medical marijuana. However, only 2 articles talk about marijuana laws, or 2 talk about physiological effects. 1 talks about chronic pain. 1 talks about college students. So you can check these boxes, and then it will kind of recalibrate your search results again to just show you those listed. In opposing viewpoints, when you want to read an article, you just have to click on the title, and it brings you to the holding page. So at the top, you have all the information about the article for citation purposes. You have the title, you have the authors, you have the journal title, the date, the volume, the issue, and the page numbers. It also shows you, again, those main subjects featured in this article, as well as some additional keywords. So even if you don't know what about medical marijuana you want to cover, you could still go through the articles and kind of find an article that seems helpful and then steal some of those keywords. Towards the bottom, it's going to show you an abstract. It's just a summary of the article, so you can figure out if it's worth reading. Once you're ready to read the article, you're going to look for some kind of full text button here on the left. If you have a PDF or HTML full text, that means that we have the article in the database, and you can click and look. So once you click that PDF full text, a PDF of the article will open. Your options in this database are in a few different places. You have the toolbar here on the right. You can send the article to your Google Drive, print it, email it to yourself. This gold sheet of paper here is the citation tool. So you can click that and scroll down to MLA. There's your citation. Remember to check it. And then usually within the PDF itself, it may depend on what version of Adobe you have, you could actually save the article to your computer. Now, if you search for an article and you click the title and you don't see a full text option, but you see full text finder, that means that the database you're in does not have access to the article, but it thinks it does somewhere else in a Valencia database. So you can click Full Text Finder, and it will start cross-checking all the other Valencia databases to see if it can find the article somewhere else. So in this case, it brought us back to Academic Search Complete, because we know the database has the PDF of it. But just to illustrate what that would be like. Now, if you find an article and it just says detailed record, there's no PDF or HTML full text, there's no full text finder, unfortunately that means that we will not have access to it at Valencia, so you won't be able to read it. If you want to limit out those results, if you happen to get a few of them, back on your search results page, you can click the checkbox that says full text. Now, if you need help doing your research or finding credible sources on your topic, in the library guide, there's a tab to contact the library. You'll click the big Ask a Librarian logo, and that'll put you in touch with one of our librarians. You can text or email a librarian at any time. Of course, we only access them while we're working. But during certain hours, you can also instant message a librarian. So that's a great way to get immediate help without having to, go back and forth through an email or wait.